How's everyone doing today? Good. So, yesterday we left off with maybe you're going to get to see a hero tomorrow or be one tomorrow. Did anyone have a moment of heroship? No? Maybe? You just didn't see it? A moment of who knows? Cool. And so, let's just do a little review over. We're getting into the Taoist space. And we started drifting as we do, right? The evolution of a dialogue into Zen Buddhism. And so Zen Buddhism comes from a space or a lineage called Mahayana Buddhism. Mahayana is the sort of complement to another school of Buddhism called Hinayana Buddhism. And so Mahayana and Hinayana Buddhism. Mahayana, Hinayana Buddhism. And so all of this, just to really pull the story into something potent, came from one man's single meditation after, a series of countless practices. One meditation, one moment of sitting resulted in an epiphany that branched out into this world of thought. There is the Buddha, Mahayana, Hinayana Buddhism. Mahayana means the great vehicle. The great vehicle. And then Hinayana means the lesser vehicle. And so I think it would be interesting to hear predictions on what you think the great vehicle of Buddhism versus the lesser vehicle of Buddhism is and are. And maybe a way to approach this question, and we can write about this actually. The way to approach this is to consider that all lineages and all sort of like Buddhist schools, yogic schools, maybe even Hindu schools, are explanations of what enlightenment is and how to get there. So Mahayana is like the great way to getting to enlightenment, and then Hinayana is a lesser way of getting to enlightenment. Okay, so let's think about that for 2 minutes. Let's think about that for 2 minutes. And if you have a question on this, just to, help you process, feel free to turn on your mic, ask the question, and maybe we can create some clarity to help you further your assumption. Mahayana, Hinayana. The great vehicle and the lesser vehicle. And so you feel your brain working maybe. You're like, oh, my brain. I'm like really thinking. Um, that is philosophy. That is the exhaustion of the philosophical mind. To think. Okay, a couple more seconds. Okay, cool. So I am curious. I'm curious. Skepticism, right? The angel of inquiry. I hope you all are curious and skeptical in the philosophical sense of this question. So, who wants to share? Mahayana Hinayana Buddhism. What is that? What could that be? The greater and the lesser path.
I can share.
Cool, Sophia.
I
And then,
put
yeah, let's
I
do it.
put practice is the great vehicle because it is the way we learn and grow and evolve. We need to practice and do and not just think about it. Philosophy is critical, but without practice, it's barren of fruit.
Nice. Did we talk about Mahayana and Hinayana?
You mentioned it like 2 days ago, yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. Look at that memory working.
I had to look over my notes real quickly.
Let's hear someone else. Christine, did you want to share? Mm-hmm.
My brain is slow this morning, so I just came up with I think the basic answer, which is the yoga who sits on the mat, reaching enlightenment, versus the yogi who's by doing the nasty, dirty dishes. And everything that we do is meditation.
Cool. That's an interesting contrast of sort of two versions of the enlightened. So which one would you say is Mahayana, the great vehicle, and which one would you say is Hinayana, the lesser?
To me, in my very little understanding of it, I think Mahayana. I was thinking of the yogi who's enlightened by sitting on the mat, and the Hinayana is the one who is still meditating and doing daily tasks, but not quite, enlightened. When I'm doing all of this darn housework that I have to do all the time, I'm thinking, like on our retreat when you were doing those millions of dishes when we were out in Joshua Tree 2 retreats ago, you were just doing dishes for like 10 hours. And oh no, this is meditating. So now that's how I approach all of these tasks that I can't stand doing, in a meditative state.
Okay, I love that this came up. And so I'm going to throw it to everyone else. Who agrees that Mahayana, the great vehicle, is the master who sits on the mountain and has successfully let go of, all ordinary life? And who thinks Hinayana and Hinayana in that is the lesser path, the ordinary path, still beautiful, but ordinary. And so Sarah raised her hand. Who agrees with that? Whose gut says that is cool? I can see some of you. Okay, and then who agrees in the opposite, that Mahayana is finding nirvana, finding enlightenment in dishes, and the lesser path, Hinayana, is sweet, some other people. As it should be. And so it is, those who raise their hand for the lesser path just now are in line with what Mahayana Buddhism is. The great path is ordinary. It is right now, us talking about these things. It's all moments. and the gift of the nirvan, the extinguished, the tathagata, the person that knows suchness, tathagata, is that they realize that it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Mountain, retreat, in traffic, in deep trance, or washing dish. Same thing, same thing, same thing, same thing. Mahayana. And so an interesting thing that might help you remember this is that the highly philosophical schools, even the Vedanta schools of Hinduism, their art, their religious art is very symbolic, abstract, dreamy, right? Unreal. The art of the Mahayana and Zen Buddhism is of trees and of cranes and of clouds and hills and mountains. And so even through their art, the essence, the quality of their approach, their perspective is perceived. Cool? So that hit me. That made it much more understandable in like an intuitive, emotional way. Oh, like they painted trees and other people created like these mandalas landscapes with demons and angels and Buddhas and lotuses that mean this and that and symbols. Different. Cool. And so in terms of Aurelius, what we were talking about yesterday, can anyone recite the quote? I was about to say it. Without looking at your notes. That's but good for taking notes. Good on you for taking notes. Anyone got it?
Wasn't it focus more on whether what you're doing, or focus whether what you're doing is right or wrong, than the risk that it will bring doing it? Or something along those lines. I tried not to look at the notes.
Nice. That was close. Was that yesterday or was yesterday something? Okay, yeah, that was yesterday. Perfect. Yeah, let's see. I can get the real quote now. Focus more on whether what you're doing is right or wrong, A plus. Then on the risk it brings to you, A plus. Good job, Kyle. Memory. So in the vein of Mahayana, in the name of technique and not discussion, we're gonna do a thingy that will pull us into the experience of holding on to duty, holding on. But before that, let's just take a second in the habit of practicing, and let's process this quote today, but appreciate this, that 24 hours has passed since the first time you took the time to think about this. Focus more on what is right or wrong than on the risk it brings to you. And so in that 24 hours of life, whether you knew it or not, you have been learning and growing. And the evidence of that subtle change is a progression or evolution of your ideas around this idea, right? So I hope that is cool to you. The reason you can say something else today is because you are someone else today. Alrighty, let's do it. 2 minutes. Let's reprocess this as new versions of ourselves. Let's go, let's do 3 minutes. Really not that much time at all, but let's keep our pen on the paper. One more time, the quote is, focus more on whether what you're doing is right or wrong than on the risk it brings you. What does that mean today? One more minute. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh. All right, that's fun. Did everyone come up with something new? Something new? Because you are new. It's a nice feeling. So let's share. George, you want to share? Anyone want to share? There we go.
I have some. Um, for me, what came up is leap of faith, taking a leap of faith and trusting uncertainty, venturing into the unknown, even if it's uncomfortable and risky. And also, what that would bring is perhaps stepping into your full potential.
I love it. Trust the unknown. That's the yogi. I mean, that's the hero. But it's like, beautiful, George. Anyone else? Yes, Kyle. Leap and the net appears. Let's do one more share. Tina.
I did doing right or wrong. It's just how you truly feel in whatever situation. Sometimes right hurts, sometimes wrong hurts. But if you focus on the risk of being as you may not do the right or wrong, then it really hurts yourself.
It's like a deeper pain. Do you feel that?
Yeah, if you see you don't know which way, right or wrong, but if you don't do what you truly feel, then it doesn't really work out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's like, and we can, it's hard because sometimes the right choice on one level, which is a real level, is the wrong choice for our level, for our moment. And that confusion emerges. Absolutely. And so you can feel that commitment to like authenticity. Can we all feel that? That like, it feels right when I am true. You don't even know what that means. Like if someone's like, well, what does that mean? It's like, oh shit, now I have to write a book because I can't explain it clearly. But it's like, oh, that is like the stoic follows that. Like there is no question. They do what is true. And so, at least for me, it's like you can also feel how exhausting and how disciplined you must be to commit to that so intensely, at least for me. Awesome though. I'll read mine. I'm curious how many also came to this sort of realm of interpretation, but reprocessing. What comes up for me is honesty and acceptance. I reach in my dumbness to latch on to a stable, universal in this question of what is right. Yes, focus on what is right, but what is right? If I seek peace, then there are specific rights that create it. Peace comes from acceptance. Acceptance is only possible when we and what we receive are in their true form, truth and honesty. And so what I'm getting is all three of us were like, oh, what is right? We tried to confirm that because we kind of agreed with the statement as a whole. Yes, I should do what is right. Did anyone just sort of combat the whole statement? They're like, no, I'd rather protect myself than do what is right or wrong. Did anyone do that? That was this. So we agreed. As we, we're here for a reason, because we agreed, which is something to investigate. We only go towards what we agree with. I don't know how expansive that is. But anyways, we all agreed. And so we defined what we agreed with, what is right. And we both came up with honesty and acceptance, essentially. All three of us. Tina, honesty. George, acceptance. It's like, I just got to be with this thing. Very Taoist. Who else had something in that vein? That's so interesting. That's a lot. That's like, I can't see Kyle, but that was like 70%, 80%. 80% of us were like, that is what is right, to be at peace. And so that's the Taoist nature. So what we're going to do, yes, we have 10 minutes. We're going to lift our arms up and over our head. Good old Urdhva Bhuj. Urdhva Bhuj. We're going to lift our arms up and over our head for 10 minutes. Yeah. And the idea is this, right? Yeah, we can just do, Julian's already up there. So left or right arm. I'll do right. Get the arm up. Okay. And now find your meditation, but we're going to talk for a second. We're just going to hold our arms up and we're going to talk. Ooh, nice. So commit more to what is right or wrong than, than on the risk it brings you. Focus more on what is right or wrong than on the risk it brings you. The risk here is exhaustion. It's not even risk. It's just exhaustion. But still, focus more on what is right or wrong than on the risk it brings you. So what is right about this is that it is an expression of your raw willpower. That is what is right. This determines and expresses how much willpower you have. It's not the best way to use your willpower. Not even close. But it is an accurate read. It is an accurate measure of your will. Cool? And so you do what with your willpower what you want after checking in and seeing how much you have. Then we do those things that we are afraid of doing. Jewelry line, book, I don't know. Okay, cool. So let's just get into this arm hold now. Straight arms, boom, all the way. Straight, tighten the shoulder. No bend in the arm. Willpower. If we don't do it right, let's not do it at all. Can you straighten your arm more? Try to get your bicep to your ear. Oh, without moving your head. Just bicep to ear. And then pull your whole arm behind your ear. Bicep close to the ear, and then try to pull your arm back. Whoosh, all on the shoulders. Okay. We're going to hold this for 10. Eyes closed. Eyes closed. Focus more on what is right. Acceptance, honesty. Acceptance, honesty. Then the risk it brings you. And so this is the point. This is Mahayana. This is like a technique, an experience. It's not an idea of what is right or wrong, an idea of holding on to our willpower. Now you are holding on. Mahayana is about finding nirvana in the most ordinary, mundane, and small things. Feel it in how the clothes you wear wrap so kindly and softly around your body. Focus on the compassionate nature of the fabric, and then straighten your arm. Focus on the compassionate nature of the fabric. Focus more on whether what you're doing is right or wrong than on the risk it brings you. Again, what is right about this? It is our will. It is your will. Focus more on whether what you are doing is right or wrong than on the risk it brings you. The risk of an exhausted shoulder, the risk of discomfort, the risk of pain. And so Mahayana comes with this emphasis that the philosophy is actually a representation of a lived moment. The philosophy of virtue is a description of a lived moment, a moment where virtue can be enacted. And this is that moment, prolonged. That is practice. This is that moment. What is right? Acceptance. Acceptance of what is true, what is happening. Control the breath. Last 30 seconds, straighten the arms. Find peace. Last 20. Find peace. 3. That is what is right. 2. Now slow motion like a feather falling from the sky. Exhale, release your arm down. Whoosh. Wrists on knees or hands in laps. Tall spine. And today's quote by Aurelius: stand up straight in life, don't be propped up by others, and do your duty without fear. And so for that statement to make sense, just think right now, what is your duty? We can write it down later. I think we can write it down later. What is your duty? Just close your eyes and sit with that. Choose one little duty to be, to have today. And sit and feel the quality of that commitment. Breath in, open your eyes. Okay. Stand up straight in life. Don't be propped up by others. And do your duty without fear. And do your duty without fear. And so for me, what came to mind was to be good, to be a good person today. And that's kind of general. It could be very specific. This gets into like goals and intentions and habit and behavior change. And we're all very interested in that. But whatever it is, it's like whether it's as general as being good or as specific as, I don't know, as specific as Remembering to floss my teeth. My duty to my teeth. Floss them. Anything is better than just keeping the statement an open statement. Because that statement isn't rooted into the person. It's not rooted into you. It's like a very general truth. Stand up straight in life, don't be propped up by others, and do your duty without fear. It's like, yes, awesome. But how do I implement that into my existence? It takes time to think about it. It takes a second, a couple minutes. And then from there, it doesn't mean that that virtue or that sort of moral code is actualized either. But it is a step in actualization. You know? It has to get a little more specific. And so that is just, again, contemplation. That is an aspect of being a philosopher, an embodied philosopher. We were spending time earlier today thinking the question, revisit this quote. What do you think about it? And you're like, what is good? What is right? Or no, Mahayana, Hinayana. What is Mahayana? What is Hinayana? What is greater? What is lesser? Think. The act of thinking. The act of writing down thoughts. Powerful, powerful stuff. Cool. I think that's it for today. So cool, so fun. And yeah, you all have a beautiful rest of your day. Utilize that willpower, right? We all showed that we were conscious enough to force our arm over our heads for 10 minutes. Pretty conscious. So I hope you use that consciousness well. Cool, everyone.